Hey everyone, my name is Dustin. I just recently picked up this diesel transfer tank on an auction and I would like to build a skid for it so I can pick it up with my skid loader. This was advertised as 175 gallons. I have my doubts on that. I think it's closer to 130, 140, somewhere in there. I guess I'll find out when I fill it up. So the plan is to build a skid, and I've actually drew this up in CAD, kind of what I was thinking. I picked up a new piece of 4-inch by 3-inch box section that is going to comprise part of the skid. And I also had this stuff on hand. This is 2-inch by 3-inch box section, 1/4 inch, 3/16, somewhere in there thick. That one is 1/4 inch thick. All right, let's get to it. All right, so these will be the main rails coming along right here. So these will be the cross members. All right, so the cross braces are all cut. So I just got these first two pieces cut. And I was thinking of having a third in the middle. But the more I look at this, I'm wondering if I just have the two on the ends. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do the two rails. It's gonna be enough. This is gonna weigh 1,000 pounds, if that. Yeah, maybe 1,200 pounds. So I was originally intending to have a third set in the middle, but I'm only gonna do the outside two. It's just a touch too narrow, so I'll have to shim it out 1/8 of an inch. It looks like that weld bung is going to clear though. And this tack weld popped off when I put it down. So yeah, it's just a little too narrow. All right, let's fix that. All right, so that's the idea. The battery box can sit here. I think I might weld a hook on like right here to put a ratchet strap up and over. That way the tank is mounted to the body for transport. That way if this is empty, it doesn't bounce off the skid. A little runny and patchy in spots, but good enough. Added these little hooks for a ratchet strap later. So there's probably nothing wrong with this filter, but I want to put a new filter in it anyway. But you can see there is cracking on the case. Now I'm pretty sure that's just surface, but I'm just going to replace that whole bowl assembly. Well, it wasn't on there very tight. So I just found it cheaper just to buy a new entire assembly. I was going to replace the entire assembly, but I don't see a point on replacing the top piece here. So I'm just going to take the bowl and the filter out of this, and we'll just reinstall it. When we spin this on and it starts to tighten, here we go. I'm gonna call that good enough. Okay, so the battery is gonna go here. So I tried mounting this the way the instructions say. I don't like it. I'm gonna try to figure something different out. All right, so I just ended up drilling 4 more holes and tapping them, and then I made some matching holes in the bottom of this, and I'm just going to bolt it using these pan head screws to the base. And now the battery will sit right in there like that. So with the battery in there, the lid will go on like so. And I would like to install this voltage meter right in here, as well as this weatherproof switch. And the idea is you'll be able to push the button and read the voltage on the battery. So if this is in danger of being discharged, I'll be able to just push the button, read what the voltage of the battery is to kind of get a rough idea of its state of charge. And then I would also like to wire in this automatic trickle charger, and we'll just leave the ring terminals connected to the battery, and then this connector will be left on the unit. And then if I need to make this tank portable, I can just unplug the trickle charger, throw this whole unit on a trailer, take it where I need to, and then if we need to trickle charge it again, we can just plug the charger module back into it. So something I have not done is test this pump to see if the pump works. So fingers crossed, let's just check the pump real quick. I hope this thing works. So I'm assuming we can just snap those on. And then I assume we have to pull this lever. Yeah. So that's encouraging. That's good. I didn't know if the pump worked. So looks like it does. All right, well, I drilled the voltmeter in there. And do you see my mistake? That strap needs to come up and over here, and right there's where I installed the button. God dang it. All right, well, let's find a different spot for that switch. That would have been perfect too. Oops. All right, well, let's figure out how to plug that and find a different spot for that switch. All right, I moved the switch right here, and the voltmeter's still there, and then I just plugged that with a conduit knockout seal. I intentionally installed that backwards so it would fit the hole better. All right, so the wiring is done. Wiring is boring, so I didn't bother recording that. But here's the mess. There are basically 3 parallel circuits here. So one circuit is this voltage meter, and we can push the button and give it a second, and it calibrates. 12.5 volts is where it's sitting. The second parallel circuit is this charger, and then the third is to the motor, and I put a 30 amp fuse in line as it recommends right here on the motor, 30 amp fuse. This is going to be diesel fuel. The vapors are not explosive, so I'm not worried about sparking here. Nothing is explosion proof for the battery. There's no need for it. It's just heavy oil. It's not explosive like gasoline is. I would do this totally different if this was a gasoline storage tank. Oh, this is so slick.
So does that mean it's going to be no more lifting a can up there for you?
Yes, is exactly what that means.
You're going to be one of the cool kids that's like you're filling it up at the pump.
That's right. That is slick.
Just for giggles, how hard would it be to put up or like to figure out how to measure how much you're putting in?
I was just thinking that.
Okay.
I know they sell a little thing that I think you can just screw on to the end of the nozzle, and it's got a tiny little screen on it. Maybe I should look into one of those.
It's like your own little gas station.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm calling that a win. All right, well, I'm gonna end the video building this now. There's a lot of improvements I could make to this. I would love to build some sort of stand where I can put the nozzle into, because as of right now, I'm just gonna have to wrap it back up around the pump stack there. But it is what it is for now, and I'm more than thrilled with how this has worked. This is probably the first time I've ever had a full tank of fuel in that tractor. It's such a pain in the butt lugging those cans up there. I've got diesel cans sitting on the shelf here. It's just a pain in the butt getting up there. So I call that a win. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks, bye.